Hello IT Savvy Yotes, my name is Cadet Tristan McKenzie and I am your ISNCO. And today we will be creating an ETP from scratch, and we're going to consider the formatting and troubleshooting issues that you'll have to go through to make sure it's perfect. And we'll also touch on connecting to the WREN guest. Without further ado, let's jump right into it. So in Teams, I'm going to select the company folder files, and then under Files, I'm going to select ETP requests, and I'm going to download this ETP document that Captain Lassol put in the files. I'm going to download that to my files by selecting these three dots, hitting Move To, and with my OneDrive, I can simply move it to My Files, and I can select the file that I want to move it to. Okay. So after I've moved the ETP formatted document to my file, I'm going to select that Word document, I'm going to simply open it up, and I'm going to make sure there's a few key formatting things that are on it. So I'm going to make sure it has that seal in the upper left-hand corner, Department of the Army is centered, and I have the right date, and I also want to make sure I have Mac-O-3C in that upper left-hand corner. If my memorandum is more than one page long, I'm going to make sure that I have that in the header, so I'm going to select Edit Header. And I'm going to make sure we have these things clicked, so different first page is clicked, and then show document text, I want that clicked as well. And then I'm going to make sure I have that Mac-O-3C, and in the subject line, I'll put ETP for my name, company, and the year that I graduate. Okay, so after I have that, I'm going to read through these rules. So obviously, I just went through the Mac-O-3C on the upper right left-hand corner. Next, we're going to touch on 5 spaces from the end of your paragraph. So what that means is in the last paragraph, after the last word of your memorandum, what you're going to do is you're going to make sure there's 5 spaces before your name starts. So I'm going to hit that down arrow 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times, and on that 6th hit, it should hit that first, middle, and last name. I'm going to make sure that has my first, middle, and last name, and then my position. I'm leaving these 5 spaces here because when I convert it to a PDF, it's going to let me put my digital signature block in there, and it's going to look very clean. Alright, so now that you know how to do that, you want to make sure you get with your first line and your chain of command if you need help filling out any of these paragraphs, but they're pretty self-explanatory. You'll just simply put in your name, cadet full name, class year, and simply state what you're using this ETP form for. Alright, so now that you know how to do all of that and you know how to format it and get it to the point where you're ready to sign, let's look at what it looks like in Adobe Acrobat. So to do that, I'm going to first go into my files here, and I'm going to select the document that I just had open. I'm going to make sure that before doing that, I want to make sure I save it. So Control S and then close out of it. And then I'm going to right click and I'm going to open with Adobe Acrobat DC. Alright, so it's going to take about 2 minutes to open up, but once it does, I'll show you what it looks like to add signature blocks. Okay, so the file just opened up in Adobe, and as you can see, it's just the same exact thing, except it's in Adobe. Now, before you convert it to Adobe, you want to make sure you get rid of all of these extra words, because that's not part of your memorandum. It's just a little reminder of what you need to do before you turn it in. So make sure you have those not in your ETP before you convert to PDF, because it's awful hard to edit a PDF. You can do it, but it's not as easy as a Word document. So, alright, to add signature blocks, what I'm going to do is I'm going to select Tools in the upper left-hand corner, and under Prepare Form, I'm going to select Open, Start, Save, and it's going to want me to save it to that folder. I'm going to save it, and then when it prompts me to override the original document, I'm going to hit Yes. After I select Yes and then OK, I have this ribbon that says Prepare Form. Now, two key things here are the signature block and the text box. So first I'm going to select that signature block, and I'm going to put 2 signature blocks one under the company tactical officer line, and then one under the regimental tactical officer. And I want to make sure these are justified with the last word on the sentence. And I want to make sure it's not overlapping anything. See how it's coming over West Point a little bit there? I'm going to squeeze it in a little bit with using those adjuster keys, and it looks very clean. Now for text boxes, I'm going to click that text box there in the upper left, and I'm going to simply drag it down. I'm going to leave a little space, make sure it's in line, and then I'll use, again, use the adjuster keys to make sure it is in line with the signature block. So after I do this for the company TAC officer, I'll do it for the regimental TAC officer. Alright, so there's nothing to it. There you have 2 text boxes and 2 signature blocks. This will allow them to digitally sign and then also add any notes that they have. Now, the last thing is adding the signature block for myself. So I'm going to select that signature block, and I'm going to use these blue lines, and I should be using them for the previous text boxes. I should have said that. But I'm going to use it for this one especially to make sure it's in line with my first, middle, and last name. And I'm going to put it roughly in the center. And after that, I'm going to select Close on this Prepare Form ribbon. And now all I have to do is make sure my CAC is inserted in that bottom left-hand side of your computer, that little CAC reader. And I'm going to hover over this red arrow, and it should say Unsigned Signature Field. Click to sign. So I'm going to click it, and it should open up this little box here. Then I'm going to select the, my credentials. I'll hit Continue, Sign, and with that, it should automatically sign. And since I got a new CAC from the S1 today, I simply won't be able to sign. I can try the other one, but it most likely won't let me sign because I haven't gotten the authentication yet. Oh, so there we go. It actually just let me sign. So it was the other credential. So once you click that, right, and you go through those processes, I'm going to show that one more time for clarity. So that red line, select your CAC card, hit Continue, Sign. Now it's going to prompt you to save it, right? Before you save it, I want you to make sure you have your the name of the document is correct. So it's going to be C3, and you should have it in the. Let me save this first, and then I'll show you what the name of your document should be. So all you're going to do is simply save it, hit yes to override that command, and then it'll ask you for your CAC pin. And then boom, it's digitally signed and it's ready to go. So I'm going to close that, and I'm going to open this, and I'll show you what it looks like on their end. So there's my digital signature. And right here, they can click on these text boxes and they can add notes. And they can also sign it themselves by doing that same process that I just showed you. Now, I was talking earlier about how you should save it, like what the name should be. That's in the rules as well, that is in the Word document. You want to make sure you have the approval authority, so that's, in this case, the higher approval authority. In this case, it's going to be the RTO, Regimental Tactical Officer. Sometimes you may need to write an ETP to the BTO. But in this case, it would be RTO _ cadet, last name, first name, _ class year, and then your company. Alright, so all I would have to do is click this, right click, and then rename, and then I would type in name of the file. Too easy. Alright, so after that, you're ready to send that off to your chain of command and get it approved. Now, if you followed the steps in this video, your format should be good and up to standard, and the only thing that's going to get you kicked back is simply your writing style, or I guess your justification for whether or not you should get the ETP. So if If you follow these steps, you should be squared away for the format. Alright, so that's ETP formatting. Now we're going to go ahead and jump into connecting to the WREN guest. But before we do that, I want to make sure I give you guys a chance to scan the satisfaction survey QR code. It's just two or three questions. It should take you about 20 seconds to fill out. I'd really appreciate it. It helps me keep a count on how many people have watched my videos and whether or not they actually like them. And it helps me make future videos on topics that you are struggling with right now. So now that you have that, we're going to jump into connecting to the WREN guest. So starting out from a blank browser, I'm going to go into my Google Chrome and I'm going to type in help.westpoint.edu. And in that search bar, I'm going to type in WREN, and then I'm going to go down until I find how to connect to WREN guest SSID. And then I'm going to follow these steps. I'm not going to read them to you. I'm actually going to do them on my computer. But you would simply follow these steps, and it's a picture book. It's quite easy to do. All you're going to do is you're going to go to this link. I'm going to click on that. It'll automatically take me to this page where I will enter my credentials. It's just my West Point email and the password. I'll select I agree and then sign on. And as you can see, I've already added my phone. So whenever I want, if the WREN's down, I can try to add the WREN guest. So to add this, all you have to do is select add and then the device name. So you can, for this instance, I'll say T iPad because I want to add my iPad. One key thing here is make sure you don't have any spaces in this because then you'll have an error on your page. So make sure it's no spaces and it's just the name of the device. And then in the device ID, so in some cases it'll be on different parts depending on the device that you're using. I would recommend Googling how to find device ID for X, right? So in this case, I used my iPhone. When I Googled it, it said you're going to go into settings, and I'm assuming it's the same for an iPad, and you'll hit general, and then you'll hit about, and then in about you should find a little tab that says Wi-Fi address, and it should be an alphanumeric code that's separated by colons, and it should be something like this: AA:BB CC 112233, etc. So you're going to type that in, and then you'll type in the description. So in this case, I'll just type in iPad, and I'll get the device ID for my iPad, and then I'll hit submit. Okay, so after I hit submit, as long as I didn't have any spaces and I entered that Wi-Fi code correctly, it should automatically add it. So as you can see, my device name, T iPad, is right there, my MAC address is right there, and then my description is right there. So after that, all I have to do is go into help.westpoint.edu again, and in that same page that I was showing you, I'll just use the password found here. It's in the same form, the one that says how to connect to WREN guest SSID. So I'm going to select found here, and it's going to simply show, let me guess, duty, honor, country. It's like I've seen it before. So it's duty, honor, country, and so when I'm in my iPad, I just have to select WREN guest, and then I'll type in capital D, capital H, capital C for duty, honor, country. Once I type that in, I am connected to the WREN guest. Alright, so that's all I have for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope this helped with your IT skills, and as always, submitting a little 30-second survey. It does wonders for me. It tells me how I'm doing on these videos, and it lets me know what kind of problems you guys are having and what I should make more videos on in the future. So thank you so much again for watching. I couldn't do this without you guys. Peace out.